Today we play Grand Theft Auto Vice City Definitive Edition. First, I need to address the quite hilarious internet drama I found myself caught in. So for those of you who don't know, I appreciate it when you like the video, it helps me out a lot and lets me know that you're enjoying the content. Meet Tommy Vercetti. He just did 15 years in prison for murder and he's ready to change his ways and become a productive member of society. We're currently staying at the Ocean View Hotel and have no money at all. Fortunately, I know a little cash flow trick and so I drive down to the beach and proceed to run over some locals. Nothing like atoning for your sins than some vehicular manslaughter, but this is a temporary moneymaker. Today I'm going to recreate my childhood dream of owning the pole position strip club. A pretty strange childhood dream, but most definitely a brave one. And to achieve this, we'll need money, power, influence, and a screwdriver. I drive down to the hardware shop and purchase one flathead screwdriver. Without a doubt, my favorite weapon in the game. Now armed to the teeth, it's time to make some moves. To catch you up, after Tommy was released from prison, he began working for a mafia family. He was put in charge of a drug deal, but it went horribly wrong. Many people died and both the money and the coke were lost. It's almost as if you can't trust drug dealing gangbangers anymore. Now if we don't recover the lost product and the cash, we're going to be killed. While deciding my next move, I notice a man is being pursued by a police officer in a foot chase. It's not going too well for the big man, so I decide to intervene and lend a helping hand. I even get out of the car and use my screwdriver to make sure he gets away. In a shocking turn of events, the man I just helped jumps into my car and attempts to flee the scene. I wasn't expecting a thank you or a gift voucher to a bloody day spa, but this is completely unacceptable. The big girl then just sprints off into the sunset at world record pace, rounding out one of the strangest NPC interactions I've ever had. Fortunately, there is someone who should be able to help me find the missing product. Apparently he's a big deal, so I buy myself a new suit. No tie, no socks, no problem. The no socks thing is actually quite unsanitary. Even cocaine dealing mafia gangsters aren't above adequate foot hygiene. I head down to the docks and meet the Colonel. He says if I work for him, then he'll help me out. My first job is to give his daughter a ride to the strip club I want to buy. I'm quite certain she's a pole dancer, but her dad thinks she's studying law. There are similarities between the two professions. Lawyers prepare a case and represent their client in a courtroom, and then after they've done a long day work, they pay strippers $50 for an unenthusiastic wristy. Soon this fine establishment will be mine. I was also tipped off about another lead. There are rumors that a corrupt chef might know a thing or two about a deal that went bad. He's not that eager to tell me what he knows, but he does have a surprisingly aerobic roundhouse kick for a big man. I kill him and steal his phone. This guy Lance shows up and says he's got my back through anything. He immediately abandons me in an alley with 3 chefs all wielding butcher knives. The Malacca was just waiting here in the car where it was safe, and then he has the nerve to tell me that I should buy better guns so I don't get caught out like this again. I spend all my money on a Mac 10, ensuring to test it thoroughly on the good people of Vice City. And quite poor police work if I'm being honest. I just literally shot a woman's head off and the cop didn't deem that a worthy enough incident to exit his cruiser. I continue doing jobs for the Colonel and other powerful figures in the city, such as smashing up people's cars and insinuating riots. This actually happened in Melbourne, Australia about a month ago. The entire construction workforce got screwed over and they stopped working completely. Productivity went down 2%. As I slowly edge closer to finding out answers, I can't help but think how poor the law enforcement is around here. I decide to become a cop, but the genius locked his doors and proceeds to arrest me. Public executions are kosher, but don't touch their door handles. Unfortunately, Vice City is corrupt and they take some of my cash as a bribe. I grab one of their cars and do some of the finest detective work you've ever seen. When being a cop, it's important to follow 3 simple rules. 1, always shoot first. It might look like they're holding a phone, cigarette, or baby from a distance, but it's probably a gun, so open fire anyway. 2, park in the disabled car spaces, because who's going to stop you? And 3, it's technically always safer to pepper spray a blind person than not to pepper spray a blind person. While busy protecting and serving, the police arrest me. I guess stealing a police car and becoming an independent vigilante is frowned upon. At least we now have $6,000 and still our dream, the pole position strip club. I'm introduced to a new player, Avery Carrington. He wants help knocking off a rival property developer, and I'm more than happy to be of assistance. I buy some fresh golf attire and head down to the club. I've never been that into golf, but my grandpa was. He passed away a while ago, but Mum and I went and played around on his favorite course. There's this one hole where you can hit it over a huge inlet cliff with waves crashing below, or play it safe and hit it around the green like a little bitch. We'd both been trash all day, but Mum managed to hit the ball across this massive gap onto the green and sink a par 5 in 2 shots. It was incredible, we couldn't believe it. This seems like too wholesome of a story to be telling while I beat a property developer to death. Avery has other jobs for me too, like using a small fun toy helicopter to commit acts of terror. It's okay though, because with every mass grave we get a little closer to figuring out who screwed us over. We've become some sort of errand boy, but instead of picking up the dry cleaning, we're chasing someone down the street with a chainsaw. It says a lot about society that no one is doing anything about this. This chick is just happily dancing, like call the cops or at least flee and save yourself. The Colonel then tells me that he's got a huge job, perhaps the most important yet. He wants me to oversee a drug deal. I guess he's forgotten that last time I was asked to do this exact same thing, both the money and the drugs got stolen. Just about as bad as it could have gone. On the positive side, Lance will be coming with us for support. The guy who left me in an alley with 3 psychotic chefs to die scared and alone. Predictably, the deal goes south, but this time it's not a cutscene and I can actually do something about it. It's an absolute bloodbath, but Lance and I are able to prevent a disaster, and this sparks the interest of Ricardo Diaz, the leader of the most powerful cartel in the city. He's so rich, he lives in a gated community, and his gigantic mansion is quite impressive. I proceed to park on his grass as a power play. He might be wealthier than Tommy, but now his grass is slightly scuffed. He sends us straight to work. Diaz has me chasing his enemies across rooftops, engaging in high-speed moped chases. Between jobs, I attempt to pick up one of his high-class escorts as another power play, but then realize it's probably his wife. This guy is no joke. He gave me an M60 straight out of the Vietnam War and told me to storm a house full of mobsters by myself. I stole boats and killed countless men for Diaz, and he sure didn't pay us well. Dude scratches his balls with a loaded gun. It didn't matter how many times I parked on his grass, he wasn't getting it. I decide to give myself a bonus and steal his Lamborghini. We still don't have answers about what went wrong with the drug deal, so I take my mind off things with a little cardio. The problem is, none of the hookers seem interested. I'm in a Ferrari, and these women don't think I'll be able to pay. It must be the Hawaiian shirt. I buy myself a tracksuit because everyone knows women are powerless to the Slavic-inspired fall-season drip. I even change cars, but still these hookers will not get into my vehicle. I spend all night trying to make this work. It became like an objective for me. I failed though, and this is the most rejected I've ever been in my entire life. I was unable to pay virtual hookers for sex. This may be rock bottom. I proceed to spend my sunrise committing several drive-bys on as many of them as I can find. The Colonel asks if I can see him as he may finally have information. I arrive at his yacht and he asks if I can steal him a tank. A tank from the army that are doing some kind of drill. Killing some scumbag drug trafficker is one thing, but taking on the army is a whole new kettle of fish. I follow the troops for a while, and then the general calls out for some donuts. Who better to get the donuts than the tank driver? No need to suspend your disbelief. If he can drive a tank, he is overly qualified to pick up the donuts. I take my opportunity and go on a tear through the city, murdering any soldier, police officer, man, woman, or child. Well, GTA games don't actually have children for obvious reasons. I actually just went down a rabbit hole of why there is no children, and it's so funny, but also pretty messed up. There are people on Reddit arguing about why they should be able to run over kids, and now I suddenly understand how people feel when they watch my videos. I mean, I'm joking, I would never hurt anyone, except a kid if he was being annoying, but that's because I'm way bigger and stronger. I then get a phone call and Vance has been captured by Ricardo Diaz, the guy we've been working for. He's bleeding out and the only vehicle I have handy is a golf cart. So here I am racing against the clock at 40 kilometers an hour while my BFF slowly dies. Africa by Toto is playing on the radio, which just doesn't seem like an appropriate commuting song. I love that the rains down in Africa are being blessed, but a man is being tortured. I shoot everybody and save Lance. He tells me that Ricardo Diaz is the one who messed up the original drug deal that's been haunting us the entire time. There's only one thing to do. We get some big guns and prepare for a full frontal assault on Diaz's mansion. Pablo Escobar once said that he was a decent man who exported flowers. Well, the plan is to knock off Diaz and all his most loyal men so that we can move right into the flower business. Thank God I was wearing this tracksuit. The only thing I never understood about the Mafia is why they were so insistent on wearing formal suits. Don't get me wrong, it looked baller, but such a wildly impractical choice of clothing. I murder Diaz right there in his office and we acquire his mansion as our own. It's a huge estate with multiple rooms. It's even got a helipad on the roof, but it's not what I'm after. The pole position. Just when you thought strip clubs couldn't get any more trashy, they made the name a pun. $30,000 well spent, and this establishment truly is where dreams are made. A place where the scholars and intellectuals of Vice City congregate to broaden their minds. Look at my boy here. This is a man who gets it. A man who wakes up every morning in his car, cries, and then comes here. I am proud to take his money. I hope you're all doing good. I'm so happy to be finally playing this game. Make sure to follow me on Twitter as I'm going to release some more hoodies soon and I want to give like 50 away. I love you all.